Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fantasy Factory. This week, after a week of hiatus, we are a third through the fantasy football season. We are not doing stocks. We are not selling or buying or holding with these guys. We are just reaching out. I am so frustrated with the guys, the 5 guys that we're going to be talking about today. I almost said 6. I'm just in such a rage. We got to be like Philip Rivers. We got to get... I know a lot of people's seasons have been like this, and we are going to go through and walk through these guys that have just frustrated. It's going to be a lethargic experience for everybody. We're just going to rage out together, and we're going to start out with this dude, Kyle Pitts. What the hell, man? Last year, Kyle Pitts was a top 5, top 10 receiver, especially in PPR. I say receiver, he was tight end, but he acted like a receiver, for the love of Christ. But no. Of course, Kyle Pitts, as you can see with the games, I can't even use the right hand. I'm so angry. Just look at this. Look at this output. It's pathetic for a guy that everybody had at least as a tight end in the range of 4, 5, 6, something like that. If you were to tell me that Gerald Everett would be a more viable tight end for fantasy than Kyle Pitts, I'd say, dude, screw off. But look at what has happened with this guy. Everybody who drafted him, including myself in one of my 4 leagues, oh my God. I feel for everybody here. Kyle Pitts, a definite disappointment. Very frustrating. Drake London, we're going with Falcons 1-2 here because the Falcons should have both of these guys blown up. And even more frustrating than what has happened with Kyle Pitts, look at what Drake London was doing at the beginning of the year. He's shown he is capable of being a phenomenal rookie wide receiver. But over the last few weeks, for whatever reason, the minute that somehow when Cordero Patterson goes down, Drake London's fantasy impact goes down too. That makes no goddamn sense. What the hell is that? I'm frustrated because I had Drake London in my leagues as well. I went on with Falcons and oh my God. So frustrating. A guy... for a lot of people who has been drafted really high, his percentages for ownership are obviously very high as well. It's not even that he does bad. Whereas with Kyle Pitts and Drake London, it's just, I don't understand really what's going on there. With Aaron Jones, we know what's going on. Matt LaFleur wants this team to not be what it is. It is a power team. You should be running the ball. The fact that Aaron Jones, being as phenomenal as he is getting such low amounts of touches here, that is frustrating. And that is like the personification of it, because he hasn't been bad. It's like Drake London. Drake London wasn't terrible. It's just that his last few weeks have been subpar. And especially for Aaron Jones, being as phenomenal as all of us know he is. For the love of God, Matt LaFleur, give Aaron Jones the ball, man. Help us out here. It's just, it's so frustrating. Aaron Jones is definitely, I'd say, out of these 5, the most frustrating one so far. Trevor Lawrence is another one. Man, I got burned this week. I did not play him. I thought against the Colts that he would have a downtick, but instead he decides to go out and give me 24 points. But then the week before and the week before that, I mean, this up-down thing. For a while there, it was looking like Doug Peterson and him were going to get a comeback player of the year, a coach of the year. It was looking like the Jags really had something. Now they've kind of teetered and leveled off again, which is really sad. And Trevor Lawrence has been fine, but there are a lot better quarterbacks out there. The fact that you have more consistency coming from some really subpar, like Derek Carr being able to be more consistent than Trevor Lawrence is not something that the number 1 overall pick you would expect out of him. Trevor Lawrence has been absolutely frustrating. And then lastly, and this is a guy that I had hold on, but it's just the way that the Bengals offense has been. It's been so odd. Why is Joe Mixon not getting the touches? It's like Aaron Jones. Why is he not getting the touches? He had a 5.6 yard per carry average over his last 2 games. But for whatever reason, he has been getting the touches, which is surprising with the amount of impact that he had last year in that offense. I know that teams are playing safeties higher up in order to get rid of the long game that the Bengals really were able to exploit. But does that mean that all of a sudden we're going to just take the ball out of Joe Mixon's hands? The more frustrating part, he's getting a very high amount of impact compared to Samaje Perine. He has an 80%, I believe it was, snap count. I don't get it. I don't understand this one. Joe Mixon is absolutely a frustrating player as well. That runs through our 5. Again, just the most frustrating guys in the world here. We got Kyle Pitts, a tight end who should be at least be a tight end 5, and instead, I don't even know what he's doing at this point. He's been awful. Drake London, great start to the year, but has really petered off, and it seems like Cordero Patterson being out has somehow made his impact less. I don't get how that works exactly, unless all of his catches were off of play action, which I doubt. Aaron Jones, though, is the most frustrating out of the 5, I'm going to say. Matt LaFleur refuses to give this dude the ball for whatever reason. Aaron Jones is absolutely capable of 20 points per if he gets the involvement in the offense, and Green Bay, for whatever reason, doesn't seem willing to do so. Trevor Lawrence has been up and down. He looked like he was going to have a career resurgence after just the most toxic year with Urban Meyer. With Doug Peterson, you'd think that he would wind up blowing up, and he did phenomenally last week, but can we trust this guy? I don't know. He's been a bit frustrating for me. And last, certainly not least, the hold candidate that I had, Joe Mixon. It just seems like he even though he's getting, in terms of backfield, 80%, 75% involvement in the game, it just seems like Joe Mixon's having a bit of an off year, as is the Cincinnati Bengals offense in general. If for whatever reason they're able to churn up, though, Joe Mixon's going to just blow up. But for now, he's been a really frustrating candidate to start the year. Those are our 5. This has been the Fantasy Factory. Instead of stocks, we have had absolute frustration. If you are raging out like my man Phil and me, then like and subscribe this video, this content. We have more coming out for you on the Fantasy Factory. Stick around, folks. Thank you very much, and have a great week.